Edward writes in, he says, how has doing Strong Opinion Sports matured you as a person? Man, I've learned so much doing SOS. This is my career. This is my craft. This is my career, and I've grown up a lot during the process of doing the show and building the show. I mean, countless things. I'm going to list a bunch of stuff. I'm probably going to miss things. Like who you are matters, for example. Who you are as a person, the way you treat people, the things you say. I think the show has made me kinder and made me, athletes are coaches. Or sorry, what do I want to say? Athletes and coaches are people. Athletes are people. Coaches are people. Honestly, sponsors are people. Fans are people. Fans of sports are people, I mean. People listening to the show are people. SOS is a show about human beings, and those human beings are just affiliated with sports, but it's really a people show. I talk about human beings for a living. And in doing so, it's really kind of, I think, made me a lot more empathetic. And it's so important to be fair. Like, it is so important to be fair when you talk about other human beings. And people make mistakes. Even if someone does something really stupid or says something that they just cannot say, maybe they thought they were doing the right thing. They're a human being. And I am far from perfect. It would not be fair of me to be super harsh to people when they make mistakes when I'm also a person who makes mistakes all the time. And so I believe it is super important to say that there are two sides to every single issue. And it's so easy to forget that. It's so easy to forget that we're people. We make mistakes. And that's one of the important things I've learned. I've also learned that, why? Asking why is such an important question. Trying to understand both sides of every issue is important. Even if you disagree, empathy matters. That statement I made. People, we talk about human beings a lot. And the show has made me more responsible in every single way where I care about what I say. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to offend people. And not in a way like I'm tiptoe, but I know that you can say the same thing one way that hurts people, and you can say the exact same words in a way that maybe doesn't hurt people. And I'd rather, if I can, say things in a way that doesn't hurt people and allows for conversation, allows for dialogue, rather than closing a door on people. Again, I'm more responsible in every way because of Strong Opinion Sports. My work ethic, I sleep, how I eat, what I say, even off the show, I pay attention to. I've kind of made myself into let's be honest, I'm kind of a public figure now. And there's responsibility that needs to go with that. If you have to have care. You have to be responsible. And I try to be a good example with my actions, with what I say. And it's less about big stuff and more about the small things. Some of the most important stuff I've done is simply encouraging people to enjoy their lives. Hey, by the way, smile, go swimming, watch a movie, read a book, play video games, hang out with their friends, enjoy your life. I mean, that's such an important message that I think I took a long time to learn and long time to understand that that's important to value. And I really hope that people do value that. When you watch sports, have nachos, right? Hang out with your friends, talk to your dad. It's so important that people enjoy their lives. And I am not perfect, but I'm trying to be a good example. I care about that. And I own my mistakes, and that's so important, man. You got to own your mistakes. And I love my show. I am so in love with my show. It's the most fun I've ever had. It's also the hardest I've ever worked. I've never worked harder on anything than I have building Strong Opinion Sports. I honestly wonder if what would have happened in my football career as a quarterback in high school if in high school I had worked the way I work now with Strong Opinion Sports. What would have happened if I was as focused as I am now and worked as hard as I do now? When I was in high school years ago, I thought I worked hard. I look back now and I go, bro, you thought you worked hard. You had a girlfriend, you played a lot of video games, there were moments where I can't remember the last time I watched a TV show, literally, because unless it's basketball, but that doesn't count in my opinion, that's work. I've sacrificed way more for Strong Opinion Sports than I ever did for football. I mean, I really put everything on the line here, and I I get I was a kid and I learned from my failures and I learned from my mistakes as a quarterback. But when I was in high school, I did not work nearly as hard as I do now. And I'm very, very proud of the way I work. And I'm proud of the long nights. And I'm proud of the hours watching basketball, trying to understand how the Phoenix Suns beat the LA Clippers. I just got to know. And I also want to say I've got amazing people around me as I'm just listing lessons and lessons I've learned. I don't waste time with people that suck, and I don't think you should either. Life is very short. Your time is valuable. If there are people that are awful or dragging you down or just are not positive to be around, it's okay to say, next, I'm out. My friends, my family, my girlfriend, they are all people who I look up to and people that really inspire me. And I just encourage you, pick good friends. Do not chase people. Pick good people. I really am proud that the people in my life that I'm close with are all people that I go, yeah, that dude's doing cool stuff, and that dude's doing awesome stuff, and that dude's awesome. And I don't know, man. Also, as a result of Strong Opinion Sports, I remember when I was in my dorm room in college, and I was alone, right? And it was really wild because I'd record the show. I used to do the whole, oh my goodness, that whole yell, right? And I'm in this dorm room with really thin walls, and I know every person above me, below me, next to me, and across the hall can hear me doing that. And they hear my mistakes. They hear me screwing up. I'm sweating. It's hot. I had no air conditioning in my stupid little dorm room. And the room I'm recording in now is bigger than my entire dorm room. It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I used to live and have my clothes and everything. All my possessions in the world were in this little dorm room I used to record in. Go back and watch. I mean, it's insane to me. And I guess I care way less now what people think. And that's what the show has done for me. I had to learn how to not care what people think because people are walking through the hallway and I'm recording a podcast yelling about Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. And I know that when I was a kid, I was afraid of being different. I used to be so afraid that people would find out I was a little bit different. I was like, oh no, I want to be cool, man. I cannot afford to be different or weird. And I started succeeding in life a little bit when I actually embraced my weirdness and I embraced the things that made me different. And I encourage you to do that too. Everybody's weird. There's I say quote that, weird people are just honest people. And, the quote, weird people, they're just honest. And who cares if the, quote, cool kids at school think you're weird? Screw them. Why does their opinion matter? They probably are negative and hate their lives anyway. For me, being successful is not just about how you're doing monetarily or how much other people feel about it. You're successful when you're happy and you enjoy what you're doing. If I'm self-employed for the rest of my life and I always live paycheck to paycheck, but I have the time of my life and no one can tell me what to say and advertisers can't control me and I make content I love and every single day I look in the mirror and go, this is awesome, man. You're killing it, Zach. And you like what you're doing. That's a massive, massive success. I'm very willing to have financial losses to do content I like and make a quality product that I care of and I believe in. And, my brother died in 2016, 4 years ago. I'm going so long on this. And I guess maybe that you listen to Ask Zach this episode because you want that, I would assume. 4 years ago, my brother died, and suddenly life seemed so short. And maybe next week, a meteor is going to hit Earth, and we're all going to die. Or maybe a global pandemic takes us all out. Or maybe there's nuclear war. Or you never know. We get nuked to oblivion. And I just know that while I do try to responsibly plan for the future, you have to have, I think, a general plan to take care of yourself and long-term be okay. But I also know that I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to smile. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to not care if I seem weird. I'm not going to worry too much what other people think about me. I'm going to go to the river and float the river with my girlfriend. And I'm going to try to be a good person because I don't know that God exists, but I do think that if God is real, then God would approve of the way I live my life because I really am proud of how I live my life and I try to live my life in a good way. And I guess all you can do is your very best. That's all I could do. Work hard, enjoy your life, treat people well, surround yourself with good people. Do not put people that suck around you. You can do better than that. Those are just some of the many, many things I've learned and the ways I've grown up in my time doing strong opinion sports. Edward, thank you for your question. Really thought-provoking, really interesting. I loved answering it. That's the kind of stuff that I love doing. So, Edward, thank you so much. Those are, I'm sure there are more, and we could do a part 2 someday down the road if anyone ever asks for more of that. But those are some of the things I've learned doing strong opinion sports.